This is Sam.
This is Kylie.
And welcome to another episode of Two Peas Potting, our podcast filled with bookish banter and a side of judgment.
Pretty big side.
Today is exciting. We finally read a book.
We did it, you guys. We stuck to our deadline.
So we can talk about it. You are welcome.
And the book
we're giving the
we're
people what they want.
Finally. Or just holding ourselves accountable. One of the two.
Yeah, well, you know.
And the book that we read was Her Soul to Take. Sam's is prettier.
It is really pretty. This is a special edition one.
Mine was just from a free little library, so... Look how gorgeous that... I just
love it. It is so pretty. I know, the people listening are like, wow, yeah, it looks great, guys. But, oh man, I love... It was really honestly so hard to read this book, because every time I opened it, it kind of like, the spine was like, no, break! But it was good. But yeah, like, so fancy. If you're gonna get this book, I recommend getting this one, because...
Yeah, get the special one. Don't get the soft cover, because the only cool thing about this is the pages are black on the first chapter. Or first page of the chapter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked this book. The way it looks. It looks real pretty.
The way it looks, yeah. It's gorgeous.
But I also just really liked the book. And I'm really glad, because I had heard, like, mixed things.
We got scared by that comment.
Yeah. And so I was like, and the comment about, because, like, I made a post, like, oh, what's, like, the one book on Book Talk that's, like, so overhyped? And somebody commented this book, and I was like, right after we had decided to read it. And I was like, why?
Right after we decided, right after we announced it on our last episode.
And so I was like, okay.
Yeah, Sam sent it to me, and I was like, oh, no. Which led to us putting off starting to read it for a little while.
Oh, for a long while. For me, yeah. I didn't start reading it until you were like 20-something chapters in.
I know. I started to read it last Friday, and I texted Sam, and I was like, hey, I just started it. And then once chapter 11 is what got me hooked in particular, and I'll tell you why eventually. But I was like, as soon as I started it, I just couldn't put it down. And I told Sam, I was like, I'm on chapter 24.
And then I was like, I read the first chapter and that's it. Like, I need to catch up. Because Kylie did like the whole like, okay, there's 49 chapters in the book, and if we read 7 chapters a day, we'll finish the book by the time we have to do the podcast. And I was like,
that put a lot of stress
on me. Not gonna lie.
Trying to make it easier.
Well, it did. Like, but then, like, I was already, like, 3 days behind that, and I was like, that's 21 chapters.
In my mind, we were already, like, so many days behind anyways from when we were supposed to start it that I was like, okay, I gotta section this out to make myself read it, otherwise I'm not gonna read it.
Yeah.
This is my weird, like, type A personality a little bit right there. Because I was like, okay, how many chapters are there? Okay, there's 49. Okay, we can make it 7 chapters a day for a week. We'll finish on the day we have to podcast.
And we finished days ago.
Yeah.
Early in the week.
I finished on, like, Monday, I think.
And I finished it that day. Like, you had texted me in, like, morning, early afternoon, and I, like, and finished it, like, that evening.
Yeah, I remember, because you sent me a message at, like, 2 a.m., and you were like, I'm on chapter 24, and I was like, oh, shit. Yeah,
so having my Kindle is really, like, makes my reading habits really bad, especially if I, like, have the book, and then this book is also available on Kindle Unlimited. So then I put it on my iPad or on my Kindle, because I don't like reading books in the dark and, like, trying to, the book light, and it just falls off, because, like, somebody needs to make a good book light design, because there currently is none. And we've had book lights for literally how long?
Yeah.
And they don't stay on your book.
Falls off all the time.
At all. Like, they're stupid. And then you, like, forget to charge it. And so I put it on my Kindle, too. So I was reading it on my Kindle. And then in the daytime, I would, like, oh, what page am I on? And go to my book.
Mm-hmm. I did that, the morning I finished it, I went to the gym, and I put it on my iPad, and I just read it at the gym. And I got, like, a couple chapters ahead. Then I came home, showered, and then finished reading the whole book. Unintentionally, but I finished all in one day.
No.
We seem to have lost Sam.
Oh, there we go.
There she is. All right.
So you finished it at the gym?
No, I didn't finish it at the gym. I read a couple chapters at the gym, came home, did my morning stuff, and then I ended up finishing it that day. I didn't mean to, actually. I really didn't.
But it got like so good. Like it got to a point where
It was a
like
very captivating book.
you had to keep reading. And like
Yes.
I personally don't see like because the comment that kind of scared us off was saying that the female main character was just like kind of hard to deal with. And I didn't like normally I am normally the first person to be like, "Oh, this FMC pisses me off. Like she's a dumb bitch."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You really
But
are.
she didn't bother me. Like I don't know if she was like more relatable. Like no, you're not going to fucking tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want. Like
I think, yeah. No, I can agree with that because she was definitely like, no, you don't tell me what to do. I do it on my own.
no, that just speaks too close to home. Or
You know, it very well could.
I
Oh
don't find
boy.
myself annoying, so it's fine.
So in the book, so chapter 1, you know, you're introduced to Leon, who is a demon, and you don't meet him again until chapter 5. It's a very brief introduction. We're
It really
focusing mostly on Ray for the most part, and Ray is the main female character, and she is a paranormal investigator and has her own YouTube channel. She's in college right now. I think it's her last year of college,
yeah.
and yeah, and she was like talking with her best friend at her best friend's job, which is at a bookstore, and they go to college together and all that. And she was introduced to these two new people because Ray is new to town again, new quote unquote.
Yeah.
She's from
So
there,
she
but she moved
lived
back.
there until she was like 7, and then her family moved away. And then she moved back into her like family house because her parents sold their house. They moved to it's up in Washington or Oregon.
One of the two, I forget which one.
Somewhere in the woods up in Washington or Oregon, and they moved to Southern California, and her parents sold their house in Southern California and decided to move to Spain. And so she's like, well, I need to live on my own and be independent, so I'm going to move back to our house that we have up there and finish going to school at that college because she always loved her hometown. She's like, oh, it's like a fairy town, like it's so whimsical and magical, and I love it.
Yeah, she loved it, so she went back there to finish up college, and she wasn't really sure what she was going to do after college. She thought about going to Spain to be with her parents, but everything was up in the air. She was just like, I'm just trying to finish school. That's all I'm wanting to do. So that's the beginning of the book, which I actually enjoyed that the author didn't take too much time explaining everything and making it really boring about like the world or whatever, because that's something I really hate about some books sometimes.
Yes.
Especially when they're like of fantasy genre or something, you know?
And they take like
Where
half of
it's
the
like,
book to world build, and you're like, okay, but now I'm so bored. I don't care about your world that you spent half the book trying to build for me.
yes. It's like you can make a quick description and I will figure it out on my own. Like, I'll make my own little world in my head. It's fine.
And that is, I'm gonna kind of sidebar here. I feel like that is something that this author did very well, was describing things quickly, but you could still fully get the mental like image of what she was trying to describe.
Oh, yeah. She was really good at that. Or they were really good at that. Because the author does identify as they, them. Harley. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm going to be real.
Laroux? Laroux?
Let's go with it. But
I'm really bad at pronouncing things. I should be better.
Harley identifies as they, them, so I'm sorry I slipped up. I deeply apologize. But I really enjoyed the way that the world was described.
Yeah, and it made it, even when they described like the cabin, like where her family's house and just the town, like to me it was described as like a small little cute town. It reminded me a lot of our hometown. Like that's what I thought of. Like the main street on that was like,
Yeah.
it was just a small little quaint town, and the main street is like basically all they had in the town.
Yeah. Especially it was an old mining town, which is even a little bit more close to home.
Yeah, it's spooky. It's spooky.
Yeah. It's something I would believe happening in our town, not gonna lie. I'd be like, alright.
The cult? Yeah.
Checks out. Using an old mine shaft to harbor a god that you have to make sacrifices to.
Throwing people down mine shafts, that happened all the time in our hometown.
Hey man, maybe we just don't dive into that aspect of our town. I'm okay with that.
Hey, there's shafts everywhere, dude. My grandparents had to fill one in on their property, so we didn't fall in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'm glad. So about like the first 5 chapters is pretty much the introduction to the whole town, which isn't very long, and it's just kind of diving into a little bit about Ray and her life in college, life going on. And then chapter 5, around there is when we meet Leon again. And he is not how he was in the very first chapter. In the sense of he's not his demon self, he's his human self. And he's a security guard at the college. And something about the college, there was a murder that happened like weeks ago.
Yeah, which is very like weird because like normally nothing ever happens in this boring little small town. Because why would it?
Yep, it's just a small town. Nothing happens in small towns.
Really normal.
And so the kid got murdered on campus, and they had that building taped off because they couldn't get the remainder of the blood off of the ground. So Leon was told to be the security guard of that area.
To make sure nobody goes in there.
Yep. And Ray, being Ray, she was curious because she's a paranormal investigator, and she was like looking in, and that's when she meets Leon because he's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Can't you read?" And she was just like, "What? Like, why are you talking to me like this?"
Sure. There was nothing to read.
And there was like, there was like a sassy little scene of them going back and forth with each other, and then it fast forwards to chapter 6, which is the first like sexy scene, but it's Ray, pleasing herself to Leon.
I forgot about that. Yeah. It's like, oh, I met this hot security guard once that kind of bossed me around, and now he's all I can think of. And you're like, whoa, girl.
Clearly I'm into that.
Slow down.
So she had fun. And then you just dive into the characters a little bit. I never trusted the twins. I just want that to be known.
Yeah, they were a little weird.
From the start. Like I don't know. It was weird.
I don't understand how do you say her friend's name?
I think it's Anaya.
Anaya, thank you. I couldn't remember. I remember it started with an I. I don't understand how like Anaya became friends with them and stayed friends with them. Also, why like well, I guess I know why, but like I'm surprised Anaya lasted that long.
I don't think Anaya had the intuition or sense of anything bad about them.
That's true.
I think she just thought they were like weird because they were twins. Because that seems to be a lot of what they're like, you're weird because you're twins. It's like, what? No.
No.
And then chapter 8 was the actual start of smut between Leon and Ray, and it was a little finger diddle outside in the alley.
Oh, that's right. They were at the bar.
Yeah, she like saw him, and she couldn't. She listened to A-Brain and went to follow him
into the alley. It was him and Zane, his friend Zane, and they were out in the. Yeah. She was trying to listen on what they were saying, and they like knew she was there instantly, and they're like, "Dude, we fucking know you're there." And she's like, "What? Me? No." And they're like, "Yeah, dude. We know why you came here too." And she let him finger her while he was watching. I know. But
Zane was right there. Zane is also a demon. Yeah. Which, by the way.
And I think it's really important to mention though why like she like gravitated towards Leon so much. So she got the book from her friend's library, the grimoire, and she's like looking through it because it's all spooky witchy shit. And there's a demon who has like piercing like gold eyes, and she's like, I feel like I've seen these eyes before. Whose eyes are they?
She was super drawn to it. Yeah,
they were Leon, because during their like first like banter exchange, she like saw the hint of like gold flush through his eyes while they were like interacting, and so like since then, like
it was like
she's like, I know him, but I don't know him. Oh, he's mysterious.
Literally. And something also about Leon. So the grimoire, is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whoever holds that basically can summon Leon anytime, and as long as you have that, you basically kind of have control over him, and he belongs to you. Now, it initially belonged to the twins' dad, and the twins' names, isn't it like Jeremiah and Victoria or something like that?
Yeah, and their dad's name is Kent.
Hadley. They're the
Hadley.
Hadleys.
Thank you. I couldn't remember
like, they're this super powerful, rich family. Been there for generations. Their family was like on top when it was the mining town, whatnot. And so they summoned Leon. I want to say it was the night he finger diddled her,
I think
or the
so.
night before. One of the two. Yeah,
And
one
he
of the
like
two. And
instantly had like an interest in her, like more than a demon should.
yeah, he felt something real fast. And Kent had summoned him and was like, "You need to go get Ray or Raylan. What was her last name? Lawson. Raylan Lawson." For our next sacrifice, because there's a god that lives in the mines, and there was 3 people that he didn't kill during like a horrible mining accident that happened like 30, 60 something years ago, 100 years ago, something like that.
Oh, why?
And yeah, he let 3 people survive, but in return they had to return those lives to him, and it had to
From
be
that
3 people
bloodline.
related, yeah, to the people that he spared, which was like the Keens or Kynes, however you pronounce the last name, the Lawsons, and the Hadleys. Yeah. Woo!
So
Sorry.
come to find out, that's why, even though they don't like explicitly say that, but that's why Ray's family moved away in the first place, because the dad was like, "Nope,
Yeah,
not
trying to
sacrificing
protect
my
his family,
daughter."
his daughter. Yeah. And Kent actually has 3 children. One is what they love to call a bastard because she was born not too long before his twins were born. So he had an affair type of thing.
With a witch.
With a witch. Yeah, his eldest daughter is a witch.
And her name is Everly.
But yeah. Thank you. I was like, what is her name?
I like that name.
It is a really pretty name. I liked it too. But anyways, Kent was trying to order him to go take Ray, and Leon was like, "No, you can't make me, or unless you make me." And Kent didn't do anything because he didn't have the grimoire in his hand. And Leon was like, "You can't do shit, and you don't own me anymore,
That
bitch."
was one of my favorite scenes, because then he like goes into the floor and he's just like it explicitly says like middle fingers up as I'm like disappearing.
Yeah. Oh, Leon's my favorite. I love Leon.
He's like, "How about you go fuck yourself? You can't control me anymore, bitch."
I actually, yeah, I wrote a note in here saying, "Who knew that a demon could be so relatable?"
Because boy, same.
So that happened, and here's like a little note I made. It's just kind of an intrusive thought, but it had to do after the chapter with Kent trying to summon Leon to kill Ray. I was like, I knew I couldn't trust the twins for a reason. The girl twin Victoria latched onto Ray because of her last name, and Kent, their father, was trying to get Leon to sacrifice her to the gods because of her last name. And it's like, oh, Victoria, I knew from the minute they were introduced, because of how weird they were described, I was like, I do not trust these guys.
Yeah. Well, and just like how much of an interest they showed, like when Ray introduced herself and she's like, "Oh yeah, I do like paranormal like investigating," and normally people are like, "Oh," and they were like, "Oh, really?" And
yeah, they were way too into it. And then Jeremiah had a video of the kid that got murdered being murdered, or like a video of his body, and I was like, why would you have?
Yeah, he gave me the icky vibes more than Victoria.
Yeah, no, Victoria definitely. After a while, she had that like, she's being forced to do this. Whereas Jeremiah is like a very willing participant.
Yes. But what I thought was funny, so after Leon realizes that Kent doesn't have the grimoire anymore, he was like, "Well, then who the fuck has it?"
Yep, which is so funny. And then like nobody knew that Ray had it at the time. And fast forward a few chapters, Ray decides to go to this abandoned old church that she's heard so much about that Kent will not destroy for a very particular reason.
Well, because he's part of the historical society, and it's a historic building. Duh.
Right. Not because he's a cult leader.
No. Not the cult.
No. Couldn't possibly. No. So she goes out there alone, doesn't tell anybody she's going out there.
After Leon had warned her to not go out.
Yeah, Leon had warned her not to go out there because she had asked him about it. And he was like, "Leave it alone. Like, there's nothing out there, and
It's
it's
not
like condemned."
haunted. You're fine. It's just an old building. It's fake, fake, fake,
Yeah.
fake.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't listen. She goes by herself. Doesn't tell anyone. Doesn't tell her best friend. Doesn't leave any notes.
And like
Leaves
a
her cat
rainy
home
night
alone.
too, like a gloomy,
Yeah.
spooky night.
Like deep in the woods too is where this church is. It's like weird.
Yeah, she like had to drive somewhere and then stop because she couldn't drive any farther and then walk the rest of
Yeah.
it.
And she took the grimoire with her. And she gets there, you know, she's trying to talk to spirits, nothing's happening. So she's like, okay, I need to make something interesting
Summon
for
a
my channel, even if I have to
demon!
fake it. Yeah, because that's a great idea, to summon a demon.
Like,
So she gets the instructions to summon Leon, but doesn't know that it's Leon.
but like, also, who in their right fucking mind? Like, I don't care how much spooky shit you're into. Like, I love spooky shit, okay? Never once would I be like, let's summon a demon. Fuck no, I don't want to be possessed. I don't want to be the next exorcist. Like, come on. No.
That is one thing I will never fuck with. First of all, I don't go looking for that shit. I won't go paranormal investigating with you. I won't go to a haunted place willingly with you. So I'm not that person. I like spooky stuff, but like I know my line.
I know my limit. I like going to spooky places. I will choose to go to spooky places. Like I want
It depends on the spooky place.
when I go to spooky places, like I want things to happen. Like when I went to Winchester House, like I was like, oh, they tell you to wear your hair out because
Yeah.
they pull on your ponytail.
See?
Like I will go to spooky places, but not at nighttime.
Yeah. Like I've always wanted to go there, but I have to be willing to go to it on my own.
But a basement, no,
You know?
won't catch me dead.
Yeah, no. Fuck that, no. But yeah, so she went there alone and she decides to summon the demon, the page she was drawn to with the golden eyes.
Because I needed her views on my YouTube.
Yeah. She was willing to fake it because she didn't think it was going to work. So she was like, I'll just fake it so I can get views. And it's like, all right, little did she know it was real.
So because okay, so in the directions, because it was all in Latin, so she had to like fucking Google Translate this shit because who knows Latin now? And to finish the ritual, you had to like give blood to like make it work. So she's like, okay, I'll do everything except for that point, so then nothing will happen. So she was summoning a demon, but she wasn't gonna actually like commit to the bit, you know? And so she draws her circle, she writes all of her things, she says the translated versions of what she has to say, and then I don't remember what it was on, but she cut herself on something.
But she was still drawing the thing, and she was going down really hard, and the chalk broke, and her hand went into the wood, and there was like a piece of wood up there that got into her hand.
And so she bled,
so
and so then like the chalk started like foaming and smoke and creepy shit. And so then of course she was like freaking out.
The blood coagulated on the floor.
I forgot about the coagulated blood.
Yeah. And then after that all happened, the demon was summoned. You know, because you're summoning a demon. And then, like, that's where this happened around chapter 12. And I just wrote down, Ray, how dense can you be? Because she sees that it's Leon, and she's like, how did he prank me like that?
Right? Like, Leon just appears, and she's like, why did you follow me here, you fucking creep? What? You fully believe in all of this shit, but you cannot, like, put it together that he could potentially be a demon, and that's why you gravitate and think his eyes look so similar to the demon's eyes in the book.
Exactly.
Just a coincidence.
That's why I was just like, how dense can you be? Like, really? And then on chapter 13, I wrote down, okay, Ray, finally putting 2 and 2 together, I see.
It took her a while.
Because that's
like,
when she finally starts to figure it out.
Well, and like, he was like, no, dude, I'm a demon. And she's like, no, like, quit fucking with me. And he's like, no, look, demon.
Yeah, he like showed his tongue, I think his eyes, his fangs, his claws, everything. And she was just like, oh.
And then I love, like, I personally, that's the one thing I like about dark romance is like the cat and mouse game. And so when he was like,
oh, yeah,
I'll let you run, but you're not going to get away, I was like, ooh, yes, let's go.
I did write down from chapter 16, I was like, Leon is fun. I like him. Because he just has a good time. Like, this is going to sound weird, and by no means am I, like, putting myself out there for it, but he seems like a demon you'd be okay with, you
Yeah.
know?
If I was gonna have any demon come after me, I would be fine with it being him as long as he treated me that way. Like,
Exactly. He's got to like you because his demon is known as the killer for a reason. And
yeah.
he tells Ray, he's like, every person that has summoned me, I have killed to shreds, except for the Hadleys because they had the protection, which naturally people have protection against demons. It's a thing. Everybody knows about it.
Yep. And especially
It's
that
usually
family who's
something
been
religious.
summoning him, because he's been trapped with that family for like 100
Decades.
years.
Yeah, he's been stuck with them for a century.
And so, like, they know, they're like, okay, we're passing down this piece to every single one of us, so then we're all safe, so Leon can't hurt us, and he's just fucked. And, like, you just feel so bad for him, because, like, the more he's telling Ray about them, he's like, no, like, I've been trapped there, like, for 100 years, and she's like, they would never, and he's like, bitch, you trust me on everything else?
Yeah.
But this is the one thing you don't trust me on? Like, girl, what?
Yes, but even before that, when he's like, I'll let you try to run, they end up having sex at the church after Ray almost gets killed by a creepy little monster. So, backtrack a little bit. Ray stumbled upon what she thought was an art piece in the woods when she was walking home. And it was like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it sounded terrifying.
It was like, it looked like it was like strung up in the tree, and it had like a deer slash dog face. It was like a dog face.
This face, basically.
With antlers. But that looks like yeah. But then they described it like being dog-like. So it like walked like a dog, but like had the backside of like a deer, and it was like had like gray like skin that was like deteriorating and like off. It
a
sounded
rotting tongue.
real nasty.
It sounded so gross. It was called an eld.
And the way that they described how it moved, like how it's like all like rickety and like, ugh. It was
it was gross. It gave my imagination went crazy with it. But that thing burst into the church, and Leon being like, "Oh, great!" He just fucking takes it out, and then he kind of looks at her. He's like, "Do you believe me now?"
Do I need any more proof?
Yeah. And then chapter 17 happens, and I wrote down, "Hot damn! I think I have a new kink," because maybe not fully everything that happened, but basically he made her beg to like have sex with him at the cemetery, at the church, or whatever.
On top of a gravestone.
Like, she was bent over a headstone.
Yep.
Yeah. Desecrating a grave.
Hey, you don't know, they might have liked it.
Yeah, free show, that's for sure.
Because that's when he gave her the opportunity to run away.
Yeah, and then, he caught her because she was like,
she got
all hot and bothered by it, and he's like, I can smell you. He's like, I know you like this.
That was like the one thing I'm like, you little shit. Like,
right?
He's like, oh, I know I'm turning you on. Like, ha ha ha. And he could just like fuck with her mind and like turn her on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It makes it so much worse because he has that mind power, and you're like, oh. And then, so after that, he takes her home because he's like, you're not walking in the woods by yourself, obviously. He was very protective of her from like the day he met her.
Yeah.
And, so he takes her home, and come to find out there's more of the eld around. And how you know that they're around?
Was that when
you cannot hear anything? Yeah. So they get back home because Leon wants to have the grimoire back because he wants to be free. And he was telling her this, and she was like, oh, okay, whatever, fine, type of thing. And so as they go back to her house, she finds her doors open, and Leon's like,
no.
Like, let me go in there first.
No, this is worse, okay? So the most important character of this book, his name is Cheesecake, and he's her cat. And they show up to the house, and Cheesecake is sitting on the porch, and Cheesecake is strictly an indoor cat.
Yeah, she's like, why are you on the porch? What's going on? And she sees the doors open. She's like, I definitely locked that. And that's when Leon was like, let me go in first.
Goes in the house,
and
there's nothing in there, but then they discover that the grimoire is gone.
Yeah, her house has been like ransacked in the sense of like someone was looking for something. And she's like, well, fuck, it's gone. And he's like, well, this just got harder.
He's like, this is easy. You could have just given it to me.
Yeah. But then they shortly figure out that Everly was there.
One important thing to mention is that he tried to make a deal with Ray to give him the grimoire back in return to have his protection against the Eld and all these like spooky things happening. But she would have to give him her soul. And she was like, nah, dude, I ain't making a deal with a demon for my soul.
Because she still didn't fully believe that the Hadleys were evil.
Yeah, she was like,
she had a hard time accepting that one.
They're so nice to me. How can they be evil? They've been so kind. Because, people can't be fake.
Yeah. So after they figure out that, didn't he like smell traces of a witch, and so they knew it was Everly that was there?
No. He smelled traces of a witch, but he didn't know that it was Everly. And then the next day, Victoria and Jeremiah said that Everly like went missing. Like she like ran away.
Okay, that's right.
And that's how they put like the two and two together.
Yeah. But before going to that part, the Eld were following Ray to her house. She didn't know that. And the telltale sign, though, is you don't hear any sort of wildlife when they're around. Like, it's just complete silence outside. And so she realized the crickets stopped, and then she looked over at Cheesecake, and he was going towards the door again, because they didn't shut the door.
And his tail was all puffed up, and he was like,
yeah, he was all fluffy. And then when, wasn't it Leon was about to go walk up and get him, he got snatched.
Yeah. That's when I texted Kylie at 2 a.m, and I'm like, I swear to God, if this cat dies in this book, I'm done. Not reading anymore.
I was so stressed about Cheesecake the entire time.
I was like, why are you leaving him all alone? Leave him with your friend. Send him to your parents.
Poor defenseless cat. But Leon saved the kitty. He made Ray, well, he told Ray to stay inside. Ray doesn't listen for shit. Something about her. She don't listen.
Okay.
Even when it's
but
what's
in
best
my
for
defense, in her defense, in everybody's defense, if that was my cat, I'd be like, no, I'm going to get him.
I would too. And it's funny because on my notes I put chapter 18, that cat better not die.
Well, that's when I texted you at 2 a.m. and was like, no, we can't do this. I can't have a book get me out of my start to get me out of my reading slump and then kill the fucking cat. Like, no.
No.
Automatic
I was freaking out too.
DNF.
That's why I laughed when I read that message. So, and I also wrote on a note, this is important to say because we were just talking about it. I was like, okay, those creatures sound scary as hell, at least how I'm picturing them. And if everybody could just see how they are in my brain, you'd be scared too.
Yeah. They are spooky.
Like, they sound terrifying. Yeah. And that's what I actually texted Sam one night when I started reading it. I was home all alone. It started getting dark, and I was like, I had to stop reading it because it got spooky, and I'm home alone, and I'm scared. And where I actually live close to like woods. Like, I'm very wooded where I am.
You are.
So I was like,
you're like, I don't hear any animals outside.
Yeah, I was like freaking out. I was like, Splinter, come here, stay next to me, right next to me.
The Eld are coming after me now.
Well, and it was scary too because that was the night I actually had to go pick up Justin and Shelby from the fair, and I had to go outside and it was dark, and I was like, I hate this.
I hate this. I hate it here.
And then Splinter got sprayed by a skunk, so it was a rough night.
Well, that verifies that the Eld weren't there because the animals still were.
That's true. I guess it's a saving grace. Thank you, skunk. And in chapter 21, you also see, you can clearly tell that Leon is in love with Ray. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like, before you knew he cared about her, like, he had some sort of, like, not obsession, but, he was just drawn to her. But in this chapter, you're like, oh, he's in love.
He's in love.
And shit starts going down after that. Like, after Cheesecake gets snatched, Leon brings him back. But Leon, he got really hurt battling all the Eld, like, all night long or something like that. Because, he's just one demon.
And he has to sleep to, like, regenerate.
Yeah. And he slept for, like, was it, like, 2 days or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
On her couch?
Yeah.
After they did the deed, slept.
As she was healing him. And then she went kind of, like, psycho crazy and was like, I have to make sure he stays because I need him here to protect me. So she drew a circle to keep him there. When she was doing that, I was like, dude, if you just talk to him, he'll stay.
She did the one thing... Yeah, the one thing that he said he hated when he was with the Hadleys.
Because he was trapped in a summoning circle. And she drew a summoning circle, and while him and Cheesecake were sleeping on the couch, she drew a summoning circle around him, and where'd she go? She went outside to do something.
She was decorating for Halloween to make Because Leon put the heads of the eld around her property to ward them off, and so she was like, "They look really creepy, so I'm gonna just decorate them to make it look like they're just decorations."
Yeah, to make it look like Halloween decorations because it's like October, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
it's Halloween time.
And she's on the phone with her dad, just talking, like decorating, and then Leon wakes up and just screams. And like the way they describe it is like an earth-shattering, like, what the fuck?
Because yeah, you hear that, and he's just like, "Ray!" And even her dad on the phone was like, "What was that?" She's like, no, I'll call you back." And just like hangs up. And then she gets inside, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
And she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just had to make sure you weren't gonna leave. And he's like, did it look like I was gonna leave? And like, it made me really sad because like, I thought this was gonna be a point in the book where, like, you know how like all romance books have that stupid, like, they break up and they don't talk. And I was like, no, because from his point of view, he's like, he feels so betrayed. He's like, all humans are the same. They don't actually care, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then once, like, he gets her talking, he's like, okay, she does care. She's just scared shitless.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I'm glad that like actually listened to her when she was like, "I'm just scared. I don't know what to do. Like I'm scared, and I just don't want you to leave." And that's when he's also before he calms down, he's like, "I offered you a solution." He's like, "You give me your soul, you will have my protection. They can't do anything to you."
yeah. And she's like, but I can't give you my soul. Like, that's too much of a commitment. Yeah.
Which that's fair, but like I don't know if I've never really thought about that.
Yeah, that is. I'll talk more about that later. Like, put a pin in that because I have fun. But she's like, no, I can't like give you my soul. And so then he's like, I'm gonna punish you when I get out. And she's like, well, ha ha ha, you're never gonna get out. And he's like, oh, cheesecake. This is one of my favorite
The best
fucking
part.
parts. He's like, cheesecake, come here. And like they're fighting for the cat, like, no, 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 come here, come here, come here. And of course, the cat gravitates towards him and starts rolling his body on the chalk and dusting it away.
Yeah. And it's like, well, and that's when you see Ray literally go like, well, fuck.
And that's the moment she realized she fucked up.
Yep. And the cat and mouse game was on, and he punished her, you know. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
With this dick.
Yeah. And then from there, it's pretty much him battling the Eldaway. He's still trying to get her to believe him about the Hadleys, but she's so stubborn about that and so hellbent that they're not evil.
Yeah. She's like, well, what if I just ask them for protection? And he's like, no, they're literally the people trying to kill you. Stop it.
And he even told her, he was like, they wanted me to get you, to sacrifice you, and I told them no.
He's like, I've never
Even
said
before
anything.
he really knew
I've
her,
never
he's
lied
like,
to you.
Yep. He's like, I've never lied to you and never done anything wrong towards you, nothing like that. And so it's just this back and forth game with that. And then after a while, Leon's like, okay, I really need to go find the grimoire. And like, he tries to give her all these like kind of instructions on how to keep herself safe. But little did she know, when he left, he didn't really leave her. He was still watching. He was still making sure nothing got her.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
in the
he would
daytime,
be
he was
outside her
searching
house
for
at
the
night.
grimoire, and then at nighttime, he was coming to her house to fight off the eld.
Yeah. And then enter a little bit later, enter those scary. The only thing I was picturing was like Slender Man.
Really? That's not how I pictured.
How they described it, because he said they're like tall and white.
They're golems.
So I was like, the only thing tall and white that I know is Slender Man.
They're golems, right?
Yes.
So she was staying at her friend's house because she got a little too spooky at her house by herself. So she took cheesecake and she went and stayed at her friend's house, and she was like having like a fucking existential crisis basically. And so she's like, why don't you just stay here longer, like go back to your house and get your stuff. And so she's driving back to the house, and these 3 fucking golems are just like standing in the middle of the road, and they're just like tall, like in white, but the white is like all torn, and they also have the weird creepy faces. And this was the one where they like described them moving as like the bones like all like ugh.
Yeah.
Gross. And she's like, oh, it's a Halloween prank. And I'm like, bitch, nothing is a Halloween prank here. Like, take it seriously.
Again, it's like, Ray, stop being so dense, dude.
But the fact that she still went to her house and got stuff, I would have been like, nope, turn around. Like, I'm not even. And they, like, started walking towards her car and, like, were outside her window. I'm like, I would not have let them get that close to me. Absolutely not.
No. And like what irked me about that whole thing was the night before when she was staying with Anaya, and Anaya was like, we'll go to your house tomorrow and go get some stuff, meaning they both. Ray went without her. I would have made, if this was me, I would have made you come with me. I'd been like, you're
That's
coming
what
with
I
me. I
thought
don't
too,
want to
because
go
like
alone.
I got kind of confused because I was like, it made it sound like they were gonna go together. Like, why are you going by yourself at night? All right, guys. So if you want to hear the rest of the action for the rest of Her Soul to Take, tune in next week for part 2 of our episode. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Two Peas Potting. Be sure
Podcast.
to follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and like and subscribe to YouTube, and follow
Follow.
on Spotify.
Yes. Follow on
Follow on
Spotify.
Spotify. 2_peas_potting.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.